interest is being abused, especially in county governments. And from the investigations that the Commission has undertaken so far, a number of malpractices have been realized. And that is why, in addition to the investigations that we are undertaking, we have issued a circular directing all the accounting officers in the county government, that is county secretaries and assembly clerks, to take up their responsibilities under the Public Finance Management Act. Because every government institution has an accounting officer, and in the county government we are talking about the county secretary and the assembly clerk, who have a specific responsibility of ensuring that public funds are prudently managed. So because of the rampant cases of abuse of the interest system, the Commission has required them in that circular to take measures that will ensure that no officer embezzles public funds through the interest system. We have noticed that in some county governments, public officers are taking interest for non-existent activities, people taking interest purporting to be traveling on official duty, both locally and outside the country, and then they forge receipts and other supporting documents to surrender interest. We have seen other cases where people are taking interest on behalf of others, including cases where names of other persons who are not even aware are used to apply for interest, which is subsequently processed and the money taken. Over 20 county governments have cases that have been reported relating to abuse of the interest system. The Commission has noticed that abuse of the interest system is now emerging as a major way or a mechanism of embezzling public funds, and it entails people forging the supporting documents, sometimes through collusion, because there are cases where people with the supervisory responsibilities and the people who are required to approve expenditure are also approving activities without the requisite documents. So the Commission has sent out a warning to accounting officers that henceforth they will be held to account for money that has been lost through mismanagement of interest, because those accounting officers have a responsibility to protect public funds that they are entrusted with. At the moment, over 20 county governments have cases that are under active investigations. We've not computed the total amount involved, but if not tamed, these malpractices can contribute to loss of huge public funds at a time when Kenyans are facing challenges in respect to service delivery in the county governments. So we want this money to be utilized for the purpose of service delivery. So those who are engaged in this will be brought to book. Upon conclusion of the ongoing investigations, the Commission will recommend those found culpable to the Director of Public Prosecutions for possible prosecution, and the Commission will also consider recovering any money that will be found to have been embezzled by any officer. So the interest system should be prudently used, and it is not supposed to be used as a platform for swindling wananchi. If you look at the reports of the Auditor General, because those reports are one of our sources of information, you will realize that there are many cases where county governments are unable to account for various forms of expenditure. So those reports form part of the sources of our information. So you have seen the circular that we have issued, and what we want the accounting officers to do is to put in place systems that will stop what is happening and prevent further loss of public funds through fictitious interest. So basically what EACC wants is for those accounting officers to take up their responsibilities and put in place strong accountability systems that will ensure that money meant for official activities, official travel, is not abused. One of the things that the accounting officers can do is to also take administrative action where public officers have been found to be misusing the interest. For example, where one applies for money for an activity for which they are not supposed to participate in, because some are doing so. And the other interesting thing is that there are public officers who are also taking this interest money as a loan. One may purport to have a scheduled activity and then they apply for interest. They use that money as a loan to sort their own problems, and later on they refund. So that is an irregularity and it has to be tamed. We have seen cases where others take too long before they surrender interest, because once you are advanced public money to work, you are required to account for the same within 48 hours of return to the office. So accounting officers are supposed to ensure that all the regulations relating to public finance management are adhered to. And where these malpractices continue and the accounting officer does not take any action, it can only mean that this accounting officer is part of that problem, or they are benefiting from that. They could be in collusion with officers who are engaging in these malpractices, or they are simply not doing their work. And that is why EACC wants them to take responsibility and put in place administrative mechanisms that will seal those loopholes.